Hello everyone. Sometimes the figures in your Excel sheet don't look quite right. Here's a good example of when that happens. So we have a table of apples sold at two different stores during 1 week. Right away we can see that while the formula is correct, the total given is very wrong. So Excel is giving us a nil balance when it's adding together these two totals. Excel is also giving us a nil balance when it's adding together these amounts. So if we look a little closely at this formula, we'll notice that it pulls all the way down to D11. Because it's pulling all the way down to D11, it's picking up itself. So this is called a circular reference. Circular reference is basically a formula that references itself. Once you do that, it's an error and Excel will automatically give you a nil balance. Any figure that totals a circular reference will also give you a nil balance. So, how do we go about fixing circular references and avoiding circular references? So let's first start with fixing circular references. So circular references are pretty easy to fix. All you have to do is to come into the formula and edit it so that it only picks up the information and not its own total. And now you'll notice that the data now seems to make sense. Now, this information and this table was pretty small, and we were able to identify where the errors were by simply looking at them. Imagine a long workbook with several spreadsheets and things that are and numbers that are more challenging to add up mentally. And you can imagine the challenge in identifying variances and identifying circular references. To determine if your workbook contains circular references, you would need to use the tool in Excel that allows you to find circular references. So let's first go back and create our circular reference. Right? So now it's back to saying nil. However, you notice the total at the bottom is still saying 41. As soon as I edit it and I enter, it goes back to saying nil. So circular reference, as you can see, tends to messy up your formulas in Excel and any formula that is linked to the formula that has a circular reference. So to identify where the circular reference is coming from, you go to your Formula tab, Error Checking, and when you click down the drop-down menu, you'd see Circular References, and when you go across, it will tell you all the circular references that are in the workbook. In this case, it's just one tab and one circular reference. If there were more circular references, it'll be listed out here. So you're seeing here that it's D11. So you can either manually go to D11 by moving your mouse, or you can click on it and it will automatically move the cursor to D11. Great. So now that we actually have found a circular reference, we can do as we did before, edit it so that it doesn't reference itself and it picks up the figures that we wanted to pick up. And now the data is reflected correctly. So the best thing to do to avoid circular references is, as soon as a circular reference is created, Excel will prompt you and let you know that you have created a circular reference. Let's do that again. So I'm creating a circular reference, and Excel will automatically prompt you and say that you have one or more circular references. So if you click OK, it's not going to fix it for you because it doesn't know exactly what you want the formula to say. but it did warn you and nil off your balance. So what I suggest is that as soon as you see a circular reference, you fix it immediately to resolve any issues coming up. Additionally, if it's a workbook that you did not create, or maybe it's an old workbook you had that had circular references, as soon as you open Excel, it will give you that very same prompt that we just saw. Excel won't allow you to continue editing your workbook or working in your workbook unless you click OK on that prompt and acknowledge that there are circular references in the workbook that needs to be cleared. So what I suggest again is if you open a workbook and you see that prompt comes up, you find your circular references and aim to clear them. And again, the best way to find circular references is to go to your formula tab, click on error checking, and you'll see them here. Because we've cleared our circular references, you'll see there are no circular references anymore in this document, and the option to go to it is grayed out. I hope that this video was helpful to you, and I hope that you're able to identify any circular references and clear any circular references in your future work. Thank you.